Hey everyone, this is Norm Farrar, aka the Beard Guy here, and welcome to another Lunch with Norm, the e-commerce and Amazon FBA podcast. Today, we're going to be discussing how brands can create incredible designs for less time and less money. We're going to talk about what is a design system and how you can help sellers with their storefront and A-plus content. We're also going to be talking about why setting up a system is important and how templates can save a lot of time and money when designing. So welcome to another Lunch with Norm, the e-commerce and Amazon FBA podcast. This is where music happens usually. Do, 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 do. Lunch with Norm, do, do, do. Okay, so I guess there's no music today. Okay, so let's go right on. We just pretend the music played. Today, we discuss how brands can create incredible designs for less time and less money. Our guest is the founder of Amazon Design Kit. He runs an Amazon advertising agency, but specializes in building Amazon design systems. He helps Amazon brands convert more traffic into customers using conversion optimized designs. So first time guest, welcome George Reid. And before we get to George, we have a quick word from our sponsor, and I guess that's on me. Okay, let's talk about seller basics. Hey, Amazon sellers, ever faced account suspensions, ASIN hiccups, or IP headaches? Introducing Seller Basics, your Amazon account's guardian. With just $99 per month or $89 with code NORM, Seller Basics offers a dedicated team to shield your business from these challenges. Plus, this membership offers free legal consultations from seasoned e-commerce attorneys. And there's no long-term contracts, and you can cancel with just a month's notice. View Seller Basics as your Amazon account's health plan, and you can check them out at sellerbasics.com. Please note, Seller Basics is not an insurer or law firm. Consultations come from independent firms. Results can vary. Membership is needed before events leading to claims, and terms apply. Okay, so let's see if Kelsey, are you there?
I am. Oh my. Wow, we love our Wednesday episodes. This is my computer completely froze coming on, so I feel like I might have left you hanging there for a second.
Yeah, you did. I had to improvise on the Lunch with Norm theme song.
Oh, perfect. Well, if we want to throw over to the theme song, we can do that.
Do it. We have to do the theme song.
Got it. All right, here we go. Let's do it right.
Lunch with Norm. Lunch with Norm. Lunch with Norm.
Okay, we are back. Kelsey, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing fine. So let's talk a little bit about, well, there's a few things going on. How about that newsletter?
Yeah, so we just launched our latest newsletter on Monday. So if you want to check it out, we've got a great story about how your card declined with a certain client. So kind of the reaction to that. So if you are interested in checking that out, it's the Lunch with Norm newsletter. The links are in the description on YouTube and Facebook and LinkedIn. So check it out, but I'm going to be dropping it in the comments as well. I want to say a quick hello to Steve and Marina, and we got Trevor joining us too with a couple questions. So yeah, if you do have any questions, make sure you throw them in the comment sections, and we're going to be taking those after the second half of the podcast. And we got Rad. Good to see you, Rad. And yeah, that's it. We got a new sponsor, by the way.
Oh yeah. So I gotta thank Walmart. You may have noticed in the newsletter we had a sponsorship from Walmart. I want to thank them for coming on board. Just a shout out to Cassandra and the team over at Walmart. So thank you very much. We look forward to a long-lasting relationship with you. So Kels, let's see. I wanted to talk about some of the events that were coming up, and then I kind of lost my train of thought. the event that's coming up is CMS. So good news is it's almost sold out. I think there's 2 spots left. So we had a bunch of people sign up on the weekend, which was great. So really looking forward to that trip. Anybody who's interested in going, hanging out with Kevin and myself, Steve Simonson's coming now. It's, for from the 4th to the 9th, and you'll just have an incredible time. This is a once in a lifetime journey. It's not really, an Amazon workshop or anything like that. It's just an experiential event. So join us if you'd like. CMS, Collective Mind Society, is where you can find it. It's also in the newsletter if you want to check it out. Anything else, Kels?
I think that's it. So yeah, good to see Dick in the comment section as well. So yeah, keep the conversation going. If there's anything you'd like to talk about or dive into deeper, just comment away. And I think that's it.
Okay. So let's see. Let's bring on our guest. Where's George? Hey, George.
Hi, Norm. How are you?
Good. So like I already mentioned, I got a wicked sore throat today. So I'm not going to be screaming and yelling like I normally do. But anyways, really glad to have you on. Really interested in what you have to talk about these different systems. So why don't we first talk about, when we're talking about a design system, what the heck is it?
Great question. And, I'll be completely honest, the idea of a system is new to me in the last year or so. And I've kind of borrowed it from the design world outside of Amazon. And I think as a whole, when you're designing, you should look at people who've been doing design for a long time outside of the space you're in. The same example would apply for if you're creating design. Don't just look at your own category, look outside of your own category, because you can get a lot of inspiration. So the way I think of a system is, how can we make design decisions once, or have a finite reason? These are our design decisions, which could be a font, for example, or a color palette, or how we round our edges of our boxes. And how do we only make that decision once rather than making it over and over again? That would be one element of a system. Another would be when we think about designing for Amazon and we have multiple different brand touch points. The first will be your hero image normally, perhaps now an ad within the search results. That's typically going to be your first touch point. But then when they start to interact with your brand more and more, click into your pages, do all of those touch points, A+, infographics, storefronts, posts, they all look and feel the same? And do you have consistency across every single asset and touch point on Amazon? And then equally, does that match your presence off of Amazon, on your socials or on your Shopify pages? And a system, in essence, enables you to have that consistency, make decisions once. But more importantly, the main reason I preach a system is, how do we create great designs for less cost and in less time? And how do we do that at scale? And that's the way I see how a system can support a brand.
Okay. So it sounds like it's more of a style guide for your Amazon pages, like for your storefront or your excuse me, your A+ content.
That's a starting point. I think a starting point would be a style guide. So every brand, before they put pen to paper, should realistically have their own brand guidelines. And we deal with even the biggest brands who still don't have that. They still haven't got their fixed. This is our font hierarchy. These are our color palettes. Here are our set of icons we use again and again. They don't have that as a basic. That plugs into the system. So when I think of a more advanced system, because that would be a basic one, a more advanced one would sit inside Figma and say, right, we need to create some storefront subpage variations. And we want some as kind of heading pages where, you've got a category. I was on Earth Rated, who did a lot of dog products earlier, a lot of dog bags. And each of their products has its own page. Fantastic. So if they were then to release a new product, they would want to run that product, the new one, through their system to create all their A+ pages quickly, all the infographics quickly, all their advertisements quickly, the videos quickly, and then obviously the storefront subpages quickly, because they're not necessarily changing anything other than the key content pieces, such as an image is changing, the copy is changing, but layout, structure, theme, feel, that is all staying the same. And if they follow a good process like that, they're allowed to create things at scale in a lot less time. And Earth Rated, I shared lots of examples on LinkedIn today of their pages, and they do it brilliantly. If everyone can do that, they stand to benefit massively, particularly as we can now drive our ads to storefronts. And naturally, if things look and feel and convert higher because you've tested it, you run it all through your system, so every single touch point you've got converts higher or increases your average order value. Let me know if I'm losing you at all there.
No, that's bang on. And I don't know if you can share this maybe after the podcast, or you could put it in the private chat, your LinkedIn page where people can see what was called Earth
Rated are one dog brand, and
Okay.
one of the things we do in that AMZ design kit, and this is how it started, was I just started collecting examples of things that looked good. And so you would go through and go, right, people keep asking me for a nice A+ page or an A+ premium page. Have you got an example? And I would then go and find 10 or 20 examples and share them. And now what I'm doing is collating all of those into essentially a mammoth gallery. And there are 27,000 examples in there now, with kind of organized from hero image to A+ to comparison images where you do us versus them. And then we categorize again by product category. So if you just wanted to look at kitchen, for instance, or apparel. But the next step on top of that is then providing people with templates as well. But there's two elements to it. You need to get inspired by others out there, and Earth Rated do a brilliant job at inspiring us all of this is a best practice, and put your designer and your team in front of their set of touch points, all of their pages, and say, this is where we need to be. And getting inspiration from others is brilliant. You don't need to reinvent the wheel over and over again, in my opinion.
Yeah, a lot of times sellers, especially newer sellers, they'll throw up their images, and just by looking at them that they're not the greatest images, and then they'll pour tons of money into PPC. Things aren't converting, and they get pissed off, and they say Amazon's not working for them. Where I think people have to, there's a time to spend money, good money, rather than just throwing your money away. And that would be if you don't have a good design, or if you don't have images that convert. And we talk about this a lot, but then it's just not worth it. It's not worth it for anything, because when you go over and you take a look, when people start to scroll down, you've got that they're probably looking at two other competitors, and they're trying to figure out what's happening. They're looking at the reviews. They scroll down to your A+ pages, and if you can give them what they want to see, then you'll get a sale. And it's that important. And when you talk about storing all these images, examples, but once you do it for your brand and you have it located, we do this, like all of our, I'm going to go back to Style Guide, but we want to be on brand when we do everything. And you could just easily, very quickly go back, refer to it, see the fonts, put them into the images, and just make sure that the image is on target as well. So what you're talking about is so important.
You're absolutely right. And there's 2 points that I'd like to touch on. One is, if you are just starting on Amazon and you have just launched a product, absolutely, this applies. You don't want to throw money at something that doesn't convert, particularly during that halo period. You get a leg up from Amazon, and if you don't convert those customers, then you're not going to benefit. You're going to spend more money, but you're not going to get any leverage from it. But equally, I'm more concerned about those brands that have been selling for an awful long time. And even those ones that are doing really well. One of my processes, firstly, when I created that kit was I would pull from each category the top 1,000 ASINs and get all of the A+ pages. And what shocked me most was 90% of them I put in the bin. I didn't deem them very good. So when you look across even these top sellers, I think there's so much more juice left in a lemon to be squeezed.
Yeah.
They're just not capitalizing. And as Prime Day approaches and as cost per click goes up and you're looking for those marginal gains, I've just been watching the Tour de France today, and they're a classic case of that. Where can we find those marginal gains? You're moaning about your cost per clicks going up, but can you increase your conversion rate by 0.5%? And it seems small, but we just did it for a brand where one of their ASINs does 100 million a year, and we're managed ads as well, and we can see kind of the impact of that is huge. So there are marginal gains to be had even for those top sellers, and it doesn't need to be overly complex. You yourself said it there, Norm, of we've got our little brand Bible. We refer back to it. We made those decisions once. We go back there again and again. That is a basic version of it, but it works really well. Your life's so much easier because of it, and you can keep releasing great content that all looks consistent. But then when you scale it up and you've got 50 products, the challenge gets harder.
I don't think people talk about A+, A+ premium, and if you do have, they've made it so easy now to get A+ premium, and spend the time and do the work on A+ premium. But where people, I don't see the effort that should go into it, because back in the day, I was into SEO, I was into the website design. And what I'm looking at right now, you have the opportunity, Amazon gives you the opportunity to have this store that you can drive traffic to, that you can make it absolutely incredible. But a lot of people don't take the time nor the energy, and they don't see the importance of that storefront and what it can do for you. So I don't know if you want to just expand on that a little bit.
I think the most exciting thing about the storefront is there is no competition on there at the moment. I imagine Amazon are going to want to please shareholders sooner or later and go, we've created another way to make money from ads, and that is probably going to be ads on storefronts, because it seems logical. But for now, there's no competition there. So what we do, where we do partner with brands on the design and the ads piece, is we go through and we create almost like storefront A+ pages, where that page has every bit of information in it to solve the problem that customer is having. And that's ultimately the goal. Is everything being answered in their mind? And does it have the ability to add to basket? Because if they don't need to have that extra click through to your product detail page, then they're not going to see any of your competitors grabbing their attention. And that is what's really powerful about storefront subpages at the moment. But most of us just have this listicle of ASINs dumped in there. But what I really want to see is the same approach you take to infographics and the same approach you take to A+ on your storefront. So if you've got 50 ASINs, I want to see 50 subpages, one for each ASIN. And if you want to be really anal about it, you can go one step further and break those 50 up and go, well, ASIN A actually has 3 target customers, perhaps. And if you went simple, age 20 to 30, 30 to 40, 40 to 50, or gender, if you wanted to go down that route, you could have a really simple route to go, well, for all the keywords that are targeting that niche, we send them to this storefront. Because let's say me, George, and I'm a male, I want to land on a page and I want to resonate with that page. If I keep the cycling theory going up, I land on a page and I see male cyclists in drinking out of water bottles. I've got one here, right? Whereas if I land and I see all females on there, maybe I don't engage or relate to the content as much. And as such, I'm less likely to convert. So you could go as deep as you want into this. That only works if you have a system in place that enables that. And it's so much harder, yes, because there is more work and time that goes into creating 50 pages or 50 times 3 if you're looking to split test, if you're looking to segment. But ultimately, that's what people have been doing with Facebook ads to Shopify for quite a long time now. We've got ads for this target and they're landing on this landing page, which talks directly to the pain points they're experiencing. But other ads go to this page, which talk to the pain points that they're experiencing. And I think the ones that are going to win in the next year to 2 years are those that are going so much deeper. But make no mistake, it's hard to do.
It's funny we're talking about this today because last night I got a message from Kevin King. He wanted to talk. So we're on the phone and we were talking to a potential client, and we were talking about exactly what you're talking about, to drill down to such a small and such a specific niche. And those are the categories, or those are the sellers that are going to win. If you can drill down. And you hit a nice point that you can drill down to these specific niches on your storefront. So Scott Cunningham does this, I think, the best with his avatar. The questions that he asks within his avatar, before and after, it's so detailed that with what you're talking about, you could have answered every single pain point for each one of the demographics. You could have answered what they looked at before, what they're looking at after, and you could represent that in videos. It's, if you can spend the time, and that's what it is. It's spending the time. Maybe it's not you. Maybe it's outsourcing it to a company that could really put out that avatar. And I'm going to, you probably don't know the TBIF campaign from Scott, but if you implement, and anybody wanting to listen to that, Scott's, we've talked to him a few times about it, and it works. It works incredibly, and that's what I try to do with any marketing that we do right now. It's always TBIF, and that's just check out the podcast from Scott that we had. He's been on here 2 or 3 times. But if you implement those 2 things, avatar and that, oh my God. But you've got to spend the time and you got to understand, and maybe this is where you spend the money with a company like yours.
And that's, yeah, you're absolutely 100% right. And that is where you're going to find that gain. But it's hard. And what I've been obsessing over recently, like my end goal, I think, with this AMZ design kit is, how do I enable brands to create great designs across all of their touch points at less cost and for less money? But not me do it. I want to enable them to do it. So we can give you our whole Figma system, which enables us right now to go, I can build 10 storefront subpages in less than 20 minutes. And what we're now doing is testing those to see which are high converting by driving PPC traffic to them. So we can then test it with some of our advertising clients. So we can then start to get a feeling of which pages, subpages, convert better than others. But that system, I actually just want to give the system away to people so they can go, let's implement this for our brand, and we'll teach you how to use it. Because if you go and ask an agency, and look, I'm shooting myself in the foot because I do run a design agency for Amazon. But if you ask them to build you a storefront page, the home page is going to be over $2,000. The sub pages, let's call it another $1,000 each. If you've got 50 products, you're looking at one hell of a bill. And I want to go, how can you do that for less than $1,000 and do it yourself with some straightforward Figma knowledge and maybe a virtual assistant who understands Figma and has access to all your assets? And you make those decisions once inside that file, and we've already got like a working version which we finished last week, and we're now able to create those pages in minutes because of that system that's in place. And anyone can apply the system. You just add your fonts. These are my fonts, these are my colors, here is all my icons, here are my logos, and you're able to do it. And that's my end goal, is not for me to charge someone $2,000 for a homepage, is here is all of this, and it's $150, and you can now create 100 designs yourself in a fraction of the time. And that's where I want to get to, from my perspective, rather than just come work with me and pay me lots of money, because I don't know, it doesn't quite seem right for my morals, to be honest, because there is a better way here, so everyone can benefit.
That's incredible. But I think we have to go back a step. I know what Figma is. A lot of the people listening know what Figma is, but there's a lot that don't. Can you explain what Figma is?
You have design tools out there, and a design tool would be Canva, a design tool would be Figma, a design tool would be Adobe. And there are a variety of design tools that you and your team can decide to use. And Canva, even with their new features they've released to connect Amazon and Canva together for the sponsor brand video, fantastic, we're part of that beta. Canva is brilliant for one-off designs, in my opinion. And you can still build a system in there, you can. And most beginner sellers will use Canva. And that's what our data shows based on the users inside Amazon Design Kit. But then what you'll find is people who have been building designs and websites where there are 30 or 40 or 50 pages, they're not using Canva to build those designs. They're using something like Adobe or Figma, because Figma allows them to have that system in place so they can make the decision once and apply it to every single asset. So if they decide at the last minute they're not happy with the color black, they want to change it to a slightly off black, right? They can do that, and all of those 50 pages update all at once. And that's what people have been doing with website design for a long time. But there's no reason why you can't apply that logic and that system that we can take from web developers and web designers and apply it to Amazon, because it is the same. We are starting to have 50 pages or 100 different assets when you go infographics, sponsor brand ads, all of that stuff. So Figma is just a tool in your arsenal. You can pick Canva, Figma, or you can pick Adobe. Those are the three main ones, I would say. But Figma is perhaps a leader for anyone that is looking to build a system. And like, there's no affiliate here. I don't even understand Figma myself to an expert level like some people out there. But for those who dig deep, it's an incredible resource, or tool, I should say.
Yeah, most of our designers use Figma, and it's so easy, and it looks so great. So I think Kelsey put up the link to it. We're not an affiliate. Just check it out. If it's something that you think you'd like, okay, check it out, and maybe you'll buy it. Okay, I want to talk about something new right now. It's the bottom of the hour, and I guess we'll get to a sponsor in a second, Kels. And I'm going to do a new sponsor. So it's not going to be the Reid yet for Start, Scale, Exit, Repeat. But we've got a really cool prize, a giveaway at the top of the hour. So if you're new to the show, hashtag Wheel of Kelsey, or if you enter or tag two people, you've got a second entry. And this is where our guests give away a prize. And it's a great prize today. So, George, I don't know if you want to talk a little bit about it.
Yeah, of course. So what I noticed when building this kit was people were going, I've got all the examples, but I still can't just get my first design out very quickly. And that was where we started to build templates. So I went and built, firstly, 40 A+ premium templates. So all slightly different designs, which you can then go in and apply all of your assets to, all of your fonts to, colors to, and you could have an A+ premium design or multiple in a very short period of time. Then we applied that to storefronts. Then we applied it to infographics. We've got quite a few of them now, but a template is in essence something that you can pick up with limited knowledge of Figma and have an A+ premium design done in under 30 minutes. Even as a complete newbie to Figma, which some people might be today. And that's what's part of the giveaway today.
That's cool. So it's storefront templates as well as some A+ premium templates.
Yeah, I believe Kelsey and I agreed on you get so normally there's you can see storefronts, there's 27 normally, and there's A plus premium, there's 35 of those. But today we're giving away 2 of those completely for free. So you don't even need to get the kit where you get absolutely everything. You're going to get 2 of them completely free. And what we've essentially done is we've either modeled it on an existing A plus page because we know that works really nicely. And that's how we've then recreated the design. You can then go in and populate it yourself. Or as you can see on the left-hand side there, that storefront I think we're in, that we just built ourselves as a, or is that an A+? I think it might be A+. No, it's storefront. Is a very simple structure. Now, this is day one with this, and they're designed to be simple to begin with. So it might not be the most wild flowing page you've ever seen, but we're looking to get you actioning A plus premium and enjoying the benefit as soon as possible. And it's up to you to take hold of that and enjoy the benefits by having A plus premium by the end of the day, rather than waiting another 2 weeks.
So that's awesome. And as you can see, the quality, it's set up. It's a template. So I would check it out if you're interested. It's hashtag Wheel of Kelsey. Tag 2 people, and you'll get a second entry. And again, sorry about my voice today. I'm not jumping up and down and with excitement. I got this wicked sore throat, so I'm just I'm trying not to have Kelsey take over the podcast. So, all right. So I'll try to continue. I have a sponsor that I wasn't expecting to talk about, but I was talking to him yesterday. It's my partner at Honu Worldwide, and he came up with an idea which I thought was fantastic. A lot of you have purchased the Tariff Terminator, and what that is, it's you send in your HTS codes, we would check them out, and we would try to save you money. The average Amazon seller who we saved over $7,000 when they had a savings. The average, we found out that 80% of Amazon sellers were using the wrong HTS codes. So for some reason, people weren't jumping all over this, and I don't know why. It was zero to find out. If you were losing or if you were throwing away your money, and then it was around $500 if you wanted the code, and you would automatically save this money. So we Afalabi came up with 2 other ways of doing this. Number 1, it's monitoring. So you send in your code, and we would put it into our database, and we would monitor to see if the government changes what you're paying on that. And it's a very, very inexpensive, I don't know if it's $10 or I don't know if it was $40 a year, but something really, really inexpensive. And then the other thing that we were doing was just storing your A plus ASINs. And shoot, I lost my train of thought, but it wasn't monitoring. What was it? Anyways, I'll post the 2 of these. I'll post the 2 of them in our WhatsApp group so you could take a look at it. Now, this is brand new. We have our Tuesday meetings, and yesterday morning he said, look, I've added this into the Tariff Terminator. It looks fantastic, and it's going to save a ton of money, and people are going to feel more secure because they're going to be able to know if the government changes anything within their HTS code, which happens all the time. So that's it today. Check it out, or you can contact Afalabi at savings@honoworldwide.com. All right, let's get back to George. All right. Okay, George. So talking about these templates, like you're saying how easy they are and how good they look, but is it just a drag and drop?
In essence, yeah. It is a case of just replacing content with your own. So if you see an image, a placeholder in there at the moment, you would then come in and replace that image with your own. If you see a bullet point, you would replace that with your own. If you see a color scheme, you would replace it with your own. And this is day one for us, where we've created these templates, and that's people are getting so many benefits from using templates rather than paying an expensive agency like ourselves to build them custom for you, right? And I'm, again, shooting myself in the foot greatly, but for the greater good. But what we're now designing next, like version 2 of this, is it's a template system. And this isn't available yet, but it's something I'm looking to launch in the coming weeks. And we're working with some other agencies in the space to make it brilliant of how can you update the templates to reflect your brand in less time. So at the moment, you have to go in and you have to go, I want to change this font, and apply your own font. And it would apply it for that piece of copy. But our next version will allow you to have 20 pages in essence and in one go, and change font across every single piece of copy all at once with a second of work. And then when you change the color, it will change across all 20 pages in a second. And that's version 2. And we'll release that as a slightly different sort of product because it is slightly different when we've battle tested it. But that system is going to allow you to create at scale and create variations of storefronts, because you might find your customer actually responds better to a certain style of storefront, and you want to split test it. You know, split testing is the big keyword at the moment. You've got companies like Product Opinion or PickFu, which allows you to do offline. Then obviously Manager Experiments allow you to do online. And then naturally you can use ads to monitor those conversion rate changes as well. So what we would recommend doing is have 3 storefronts of slightly different styles, and we would give you all the styles in one, so you can do all of the work once and it applies to multiple styles. Upload them all, test them, and then start to apply those demographic pieces. So templates the first piece of this puzzle, but I think the next piece is, here are all the building blocks and here's a full system. So if you've got a little bit of Figma knowledge, and we can support with trading on this for those that don't, you can have so many designs created so fast that look great, all on brand, and all following certain principles, such as we don't want copy to be beneath a certain font size because it wouldn't be viewable on mobile, for argument's sake. And when we start to think about those principles, life's a little bit easier. You've got parameters. So your main images, you go, well, we don't want the font size to be beneath 18. I can't remember the exact number that we finalized, because it's just not viewable very well. And if you have that, you've made that decision. That was kind of the decision I was talking about earlier on. You make that decision once. So anyone can come into your system and design, even as a complete newbie to your team. Here are our assets. Here's our Figma system. You're brand new, but within an hour, you can have lots of good stuff made for us. And that will eventually release to the kind of Amazon Design Kit users. There will be an additional cost because we're spending a lot of money to build this thing at the moment, but it's a really cool way, and it will be very cost effective, and it'll allow you to build forever, basically, rather than having to keep going back to a design agency. And I realize I might be upsetting some design agency owners by doing that, including some of my own design team, but I just feel there's a lot more value to be had in building yourself when you have a system in place like that.
Right. Have you tied in, or have you considered tying in any AI for copy?
Yeah, and Figma just released with their latest config last week an AI element to it. So when you select all your components, let's say all your copy components, then you can just have in a very simple thing, write this. It's the same as prompt. So whenever you type it, you can just prompt directly inside of Figma. So another benefit of Figma is they're thinking about AI, so we don't have to. So we're not trying to be some AI company. we're saying Figma are already doing that pretty well with this latest launch. So let Figma, with their prompt piece, you select the text, you say, give me a problem solution piece of copy here, no greater than X characters, and let that do the work. What we're here to do is go, how do you create 20 storefronts in less than 20 minutes? And that's my end goal. And how do you do it yourself in your own team with a medium level Figma person or medium level designer? Call it sub $20 an hour.
Okay. And now you've got the system, you got this design system, it's working for you, you got it all set up. How does this tie back to saving time and money with advertising?
Great point. Very, very good point. So one of the problems with ads is, our advertising team has this all the time, right? They say, can you get some storefronts set up for us so we can start driving traffic there and experimenting with that for you? And a month passes and nothing happens. So we have to keep using the same type of ads we've been using and doing the same sort of experiments. Then 2 months pass, and you might find that those ads we're running are slowly becoming less successful because we keep driving it to a product detail page and there's competitors sat all over it. So that's the opportunity that's being missed. And our advertising team says all the time of, on the opposite side, they're just not able to get the content online quickly enough. And that could be because they're interviewing multiple different design companies. It could be because they don't have the budget to spend thousands creating designs via an agency. Or they don't have the budget to spend 5-10 grand a month, whatever it is, to hire someone in-house. So that's where it supports the advertising team, because they're interconnected. If you can create high converting designs, or designs that drive average order value or drive lifetime value, and you can do that in less time, it means that your ads can start to work much more effectively in less time. The ads work more effectively, naturally you're saving money and hopefully making more money as well. So that they're so intertwined, those two pieces of advertising and design. But most people obsess about advertising because it's the big sexy thing, rather than obsessing over let's converting that customer we're paying money to get.
Got it. All right. So Kels, why don't we get to a couple of the questions?
All right. I think my camera's freaking out a little bit. But anyways, hopefully you can hear me. From Trevor, do I need to specially design a mobile version and desktop version? Or does the desktop module convert smoothly to mobile for, I think, A+ content?
As a rule of thumb, I think it's always good to design for both and always have mobile first ready images. Like, we know a lot of the browsing is happening on mobile. So one of the things our design team are doing now is, what are those font sizes, minimums that are required? But obviously we can upload different variations of content based on mobile and desktop. I think it's just storefront at the moment where they bundle it together and make a desktop, a mobile ready version on your behalf. But I wouldn't be surprised if that changes. But it's such a good rule of thumb. I learned this tip recently. When you're on desktop and you want to see how something looks on mobile, it's just right-click, inspect, and then you drag it into an iPhone shape, and then just refresh your screen, and it shows you as if you're browsing on the mobile app. I don't know how, but I didn't realize that until recently. So if you're looking on your desktop and you want to know, what does this look like on mobile, you can actually experience it as if you're on the mobile app just by that inspect, and then change the thing so you can select what device you want to view it on, and then just refresh the screen and it will show you that. So it's a really good way to go, maybe my video ad doesn't actually stand out that well in search results because the copy's too small.
Right.
And that's something we've been collecting examples of recently as well, of those video ad examples of when is the copy the right size. So yeah, always worth kind of looking how they look on each. But it's only storefront, I think, now where you are only allowed to upload one at the moment.
All right. Next question, Kels.
All right. Next question from Bartnet. How do you look for inspirations apart from your AMZ design kit? Is there any ranking for the best Amazon A+ premium designs? Any kind of ranking of their, I guess, other catalogs that you can see people's designs apart from AMZ design kit?
It's a really, really good question and a really, really good problem to think about. As I mentioned at the start, we started by exporting all of the top selling ASIN pages, working on the assumption that they would have the best content because they make the most money, but that doesn't correlate in the slightest. So that doesn't work. What we then just started doing was manually going through and finding brilliant things and capturing one by one. But equally, there's no logic to it because you could have something that is converting brilliantly, but only because your product offering is very good. So you could have a very bad page and it could still convert immensely and you can be a top seller just because the price and your product offering is perfect. So you'll see that where brands launch and they've got such massive following off of Amazon, they could have awful content on Amazon. It doesn't even matter. So there's no ranking. One thing we're trying to do now is we're working with product opinion in order to get data behind which of our templates people are preferring. And then our next step is online on Amazon is with the new system. We're going to use one of our bigger clients to test the different templates we've got and drive ad traffic to them. So we know that these convert better traditionally than these storefronts. And you then might make that as a decision maker to go, we're going to make with the ones that you think convert better. Problem is it's category based. Something in beauty is going to be different maybe to something in kitchen. And then as Norm brought up earlier on, well, then you get the demographic piece. So in short, there is no ranking. And inspiration wise, my advice would be don't just look on Amazon, look off as well, because there's some pretty amazing sites out there that have collected examples for Shopify pages. And guess what? People make lots of money on Shopify with high converting pages. Take inspiration from there as well. So sorry if that's not the perfect answer.
All right, next question.
All right, next one is from Trevor. I suddenly have some accounts eligible for premium A+ content. Been trying to get it for months. Now that it's available, it's a daunting undertaking. So more of a comment, but
yeah, I mean, it is daunting, isn't it? Because if you have no design knowledge, even if you've got very simple tools like Canva, it can be just challenging to go, where do I start? And I think that's where examples inspire you to go, well, I'll just go with that. I like that. And I'll put a VA in front of it, for instance. Alternatively, if you have a bit more knowledge, you could use a template, or you could take inspiration and drop it into Figma. So templates help, inspiration helps, getting help from others and using VAs and saying, make this for me, will also work nicely. Lots of design assistants can do that.
Okay, next question.
All right, our last question from Bartnet. Do you plan to add options for graphic ads, those kind of templates?
Yeah, it's something we added recently is the video advertising templates. And this is actually in Canva as well. So we're looking to bring in, if you want to capitalize on Amazon video ads, we're releasing templates that are video ad templates. And we're then going to be doing tutorials inside of that. We've got a Canva certified expert supporting us with this. So he'll be then doing the tutorials of how do you apply this template to your own system. I'm sorry if you can hear any soaring outside, but
nope.
Okay, we're okay. The microphone's doing a brilliant job because it's very loud for me. So yeah, the video templates will help greatly. And Canva even have a few of those themselves as well as part of this new beta with Amazon, where you can create a design for a video in Canva get it approved by Amazon all inside of Canva, and then upload it straight from Canva into Amazon. So that's invite-only beta at the moment, but that's what we've been using to kind of build some templates out as well.
Okay, I think that's it, Kels.
Yeah, we are all finished up for the questions on my side.
Okay, let me see. Oh, well, first of all, thank you for coming on. I didn't know if I was going to last. I thought Kelsey would probably have to, tag me and he'd be the host. But I'm glad I got through this. What we learned today was something very interesting about systemizing your artwork, your overall brand. I think it's so exciting, and how you could save so much time and so much money. So I don't have an affiliate fee or affiliate a link or anything, but just check it out. I mean, for the price that you have to pay, it's so well worth it. And even if you had to hire a designer afterwards, it would it would make things that much easier. But anyways, I just wanted to thank George for coming on. It was really great to have him here. We are going to go over to a sponsor in a second, but George, your contact information.
I believe Kelsey has done a brilliant job at sharing it all already, but I can add it on top. A simple case of amzdesignkit.com will get me. And then I'm pretty active on LinkedIn where he dropped it. But equally always available just by emailing me at hello@georges.blog, which is the agency side of the business. But we focus today on the kit. I don't like to bombard people with plugs.
Okay, very good. Okay, so that's it. I guess we're going to go to the final shout out, and then we'll come back with the Wheel of Kelsey. So what I want to talk about, by the way, I remembered. So the two things are monitoring your ASIN over the period of a year, which is great because many people don't realize that could change. And the other part to this is that you send over the code, and all we do is make sure that you have the right one. And that's it. If you want to go further, if it's not, then that's one thing. But you just want to make sure that you have the right HTS code. And all it means, and you just send it over, we check it out, and we write you back. Yep, you got it. So those are the two new features that we're doing over with Tariff Terminator. So if you're interested, savings at Honu Worldwide. Okay, now I want to just talk quickly about my buddy's book, Start, Scale, Exit, Repeat. Anybody who's been on this podcast knows how much I love this book. I've read it. The author, Colin C. Campbell, he asked me, what, honestly, because we're friends, honestly, what I thought about it. And I told him, I thought it was one of the best business books I've ever read. And the reason for it is he takes the Start, Scale, Exit, and Repeat modules, and he breaks it down into categories and subcategories. So you can go in, if you're just starting a business, you can go in and you can take a look at the four main things that it's going to take to start the business. And then there's a whole bunch of references underneath that. And he also has interviewed 200 entrepreneurs like Joe Foster and Vern Harnish to get the feel and their thoughts into this book. So check it out. It's available on Amazon in Kindle, softcover, hardcover, and also on Audible. All right, now we can come back to the wheel.
It's time for the Wheel of Kelsey.
All right, lots of people today interested.
All right.
Where's
Okay,
George?
so I'm going to shuffle these up, give it a spin. If you are the winner, please email me, kate@lunchwithnorm.com, and we'll connect you with the prize. Looks like Michael V.
All right, Michael.
Michael, if you just email me, I'll connect you right over with George.
All right, that's a fantastic giveaway. So I'm sure, Michael, you're going to love that. Let us know what you think of the system as well once you get a chance to use it, Michael. All right, sir. Thank you for being on the podcast today.
Thank you so much, Norm. This has been wonderful, and your voice held up perfectly.
Not too bad today. I had to mute myself a few times.
It's okay. You did great.
All right. So thank you. And everybody, I hope you liked today's show. Kelsey, where are you?
All right. So if you are interested in George's AMZ design kit, I'm just going to throw up the link below if you want to check it out.
Sounds fantastic. I want to check it out.
Yeah. There's tons of different templates that you can look for. So definitely check it out. And yeah, hope you enjoyed today's episode. For those who are still wondering where the Monday and Friday episodes are, we've reduced it down to only Wednesdays now. So if you're wondering where those episodes are, we are only doing the Wednesday episodes moving forward. So it's always great to see you in the comment sections. Anything else you want to add, Norm?
Yeah, just a couple of things. First, I want to go back to CMS. There's a lot of people that joined the podcast a little bit later. So we do have 2 tickets left for the Collective Mind Society, which is going to be fantastic, starting in Vancouver, ending in Calgary. And it's just going to be just like our first one. You come in as acquaintances, you go out as friends. And that's what we're trying to do. So there's 2 tickets left. If you're interested, go to Collective Mind Society. The other thing is I forgot to mention at the beginning, Marketing Misfits. We just came out with the next video. So this is the new podcast with Kevin King and myself. What we're really looking for, and I hope you guys can help us out, is on YouTube. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. We're just trying to do it organically. We haven't put a push on it. We're trying to get about 10 episodes up there before we really start to market the podcast. But if you could, check it out. If you like it, subscribe. And it's completely different than normal podcasts. So especially the later ones when all of a sudden Kevin and I start to get our cadence. We both have podcasts and we're both different. And then the bantering, especially episode 9, 10, it gets so much better. So check it out, Marketing Misfits. And I think that is it. So thank you so much for joining us today and putting up with my voice. My head's a little all over the place, but you can join our community. Check out the podcast, of course. We've got the newsletter. We've got the Facebook group and the WhatsApp group. All right, everybody. We will see you next Wednesday.
Lunch with